Now let's move straight to movies, and Ajay Anand is in the news as I mentioned earlier. Now, before COVID, some of the industry players, especially movies, kept on saying that the industry is not doing well, it's dying. And now Corona is here, we're still complaining, Charlie, it's not going well. But the actor says that he is hopeful that after this whole COVID-19 pandemic, things will be okay for the movie industry.
Well, certainly, this pandemic has, affected my industry as well. One of the strengths of our creative work is coming together, and of course, because of the restrictions that we need to observe, we're not able to do so, and so that has been hampered a lot. And we're having to now begin to rely on individual, creative works on the various platforms. Yeah. I believe strongly that the industry will bounce back. I think that this period has offered us opportunity to think deep, to find ways in creating, works on various online platforms to really sustain interest and keep our audiences entertained. And I believe that once we're hopefully back into mainstream activities, and that has this new aspect will be an added on into our works, and therefore preparing us for the future. Well, anything that has to do with health, lifestyles, you can never do too much. And I think that, yes, some work has been done, but a lot more can be done. And I'm not laying this at the foot of any individual or organization or government. I think that it's a collective responsibility. We all must put in our quota to, keep on reminding first ourselves, being responsible for ourselves first and foremost, and therefore also reminding each other of the need for us to observe the laid down guidelines and restrictions for us to be able to overcome this pandemic. So, yeah.
Okay, so that was actor Ajay Anand, and now back to the music industry. Beef. We are talking about beef. We are not talking about pork or any other thing. Interesting. So beefs all over the place. It started from the likes of Sarkodie and all those people. Then now the female musicians are doing their own thing, making them trend on social media. Now, Mary Ganza, who happens to be a gospel musician, being in the industry for close to maybe 30 to 40 years, she is advising that musicians should stop using controversies to promote their works. And she spoke to Sammy Forsen on Daybreak Hits on Hits FM.
This is not gospel. This is not gospel. Why wouldn't you pick your sister's phone? Why wouldn't you pick your brother's phone? And sometimes too, when they release an album, they want to criticize the gospel industry for the albums to try. This is not gospel. There are lots of space out there. Your gospel or your music can still thrive without you accusing somebody, using the person as a ladder, so that FM stations will be calling you, and because you get a token by they playing your music. This is also not right. Sometimes you see a baby gospel musician, criticize them, making all sorts of comments, and I say, oh God, who did they even consult? Have they done their research? You cannot do that. You cannot do that. So we must be very, very careful and get together.
Yeah.
There are a lot of groups in the gospel music that we all, our association, that we all belong, including Musica. Just do your bit. You cannot do all, but do your bit.
Right, so that was gospel musician Mary Ganza, and I hope it will be taken in good faith. Now, prior to this very day, there were announcements that they were going to inaugurate the film, or should I say the film classification committee, and lo and behold, today it was done somewhere in Kanda. We were there. Very beautiful inauguration. The likes of Sokwet Safo, the Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture, her deputy were all in attendance. Some actors were also there, and the members were inaugurated. Looks like Sokwet Safo is going to be the chairperson, whom the minister actually nominated to take her position, and then the rest, I guess, we get to do their work. And our cameras were there, we captured, and they had a lot to say over there. Well, just so you know, the 12-member Film Classification Committee was set up by the governing board of the National Film Authority to regulate the exhibition of films in the country. Now, the inaugural ceremony of the committee actually happened today at the Accra Tourism Information Center. And the Film Classification Committee is an instrument under the National Film Authority with the purpose of classifying all audiovisual materials such as movies, television programs and music videos, among others, for public viewing.
To enhance the quality and classification of films to protect viewers in the best interest of the country. I strongly believe in the professional competence of the members of this committee to be chaired by an experienced industry player, Mr. Sukri Safo, whom I have nominated as my representative on the committee. My expectation is that the outcome of the committee's work will resonate with the hopes and aspirations of the Ghanaian people and our culture. In view of the importance the ministry attaches to the work of the Classification Committee, as established by the Film Act 935 of 2016, I expect the committee will deliver its work with the technical and professional proficiency without any bias. To ensure that the film industry contributes effectively to job creation and economic transformation, and the National Film Authority, we hereby declare the Classification Committee duly inaugurated.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So, Mr. Safo, first of all, we would like to know what is the whole Classification Authority all about? Because yes, we've heard, as we said, there's FDA. We all thought they were in charge of most of these things, but now that we have all of this, can you give us a bit information about what you will be doing or your roles?
Okay, the Classification Committee has a simple job to make sure that whatever is on screen is there at the appropriate time for the appropriate audience. If it's about children, we guide what they should see. If it's about other adults, we give them what they should see. Whatever content that is being put on screen, we make sure that we go by the prescribed regulations and put out what is appropriate for the public. This is simple. No imaginative activities. It's not about we going to imagine what we like or what we don't like. Everything is stipulated in the law. And it is what the law says is what the law is.
With all of this, one would ask, I've always heard, oh, it's things to do with TV, maybe the things that go on TV, but we are not talking about online. For instance, we are saying that there's YouTube, there's other channels. So what happens to these channels? Because if I don't put it on TV and I decide to go and put it on YouTube and YouTube doesn't bring it down, then what happens?
Yes, unfortunately, while the bill was being debated upon, no one took cognizance of the effects of the new media, the YouTubes and online matters. So within this particular law, Act 935, there is nothing about new media. So it's going to be very difficult. As we go along, I think that people would look through it and maybe go back to Parliament and enact new laws to take care of those.
Which is going to be a bit difficult for all of us, as you said, but are we ready for the challenge that is going to come with it? Because now these days, a lot of the children have these devices. They can go on YouTube. They don't even have to watch TV.
It's going to be very difficult, and it's a serious matter. But if you see the magnitude of the problem, you can tell yourself the magnitude of the problem. How are you going to control millions of people using these devices and people putting all sorts of material onto social media? It's going to be difficult, but, well, as humans, we need to just look and find a way to combat these things. I hope we do.
Every parent at home is looking up to us because they've been complaining. My wife has been complaining. Likewise, my friends and my parents. So it's not just about somebody, it's about me, myself. I make sure that my family is protected so that your family will also be protected. All we need is just your support. We are going to make a lot of enemies. Nobody under the sun wants to go by prescribed laws. We are going to make enemies. We have friends out there that per this law we may step on their toes. All we are going to do is that we always have to apologize to them as our friends, but make sure that we go by the law. That's all.
And with all of this, it includes not just the TV stations, but online, YouTube, whatever they put out there?
Everything that comes in public domain, everything, that is what the law says. It's not just about TV. It says public screening in any medium. So on the net in Ghana, we must make sure that whatever we are watching in Ghana, I know people are going to argue, but the internet is international. Yes, it's international. Go to Togo or wherever and watch whatever you want. But if you come in here, this is what we should watch at what time. If we know that whatever you are putting out there, based on time regulations, is going to be a challenge, what we do first is to protect the children.
Right, so that's it on Let's Talk Showbiz today's edition. A very big thank you to you, Jonas, David, Becky, Michelle, and of course, Icon Production. My name is Doreen Avio. I'm back here same time tomorrow right here on the JoyNews channel. Remember to also log on to myjoyonline.com, the entertainment page, for more of our stories. Have a great evening.